consisting of a multitude of special operations units. These units range from Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, Intelligence Support Activity, Special Air Service, Special Boat Service, CIA Special Activities Center, and we're not done yet. There was also the 24th Special Tactics Squadron, 160th SOAR, MI6, FBI, Army Rangers, and the Special Reconnaissance Regiment, all together under one umbrella to form one of the most secretive special operations task forces the world has ever seen.
So basically they end up making Avengers. Oh no, the guy they are looking for, big trouble, big trouble. What's up my friend? Today I'll be reacting to the story of the deadliest task force in US military history. This should be a fascinating one. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this video, thank you so much for that. It's the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, well in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. I'm not sure what I should expect on this one, but you guys end up recommending this video quite a lot, so let's play it.
My fellow citizens, events in Iraq have now reached the final days of decision.
The attack on
I
Iraq
remember
has
this
begun.
actually.
The attack came in waves, cruise missiles.
All eyes are on Baghdad this evening. It is the 5th day of the war against Iraq.
The hunt for Saddam Hussein is over.
There's still a lot of fighting out there, and we still got some brave young Americans up there inside Baghdad working this problem.
Okay, so let me ask you one thing, my friends. I actually remember this quite well. This was a big moment after 9/11. And at the time, everyone, even here in Portugal, was talking about this war with Iraq. But the more I react to American things, the more I feel like a lot of people are split on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the comment section is for you. But some people almost disagree with the war with Iraq. Am I wrong on this? If so, correct me. But it's the feeling I got from certain people. So I would love to know your perspective on this one, because I believe the main reason was weapons of massive destruction, right? But they never find them. Or am I off on this? Again, correct me, but maybe the video will actually talk about this.
The year is 2003. The United States has launched a full-force invasion of Iraq with the goal of disarming it of weapons of mass destruction, ending Saddam Hussein's support for terrorism, and freeing the Iraqi people. This mission would not come cheap and proved to be costly in resources, time, and personnel. With the ever-growing need for unconventional forces, the enemy wasn't always obvious. Specific missions demanded highly trained special operators capable of neutralizing high-value targets with the utmost precision. Because of
Okay, so this was a difficult war. Okay.
operators capable of neutralizing high-value targets with the utmost precision. Because of this, special operations forces were beginning to make bigger impacts on the war efforts. With the ever-growing need for specially trained operators, an unprecedented situation was at hand. A fine-tuned joint SOF unit able to work seamlessly to accomplish international objectives and efforts was needed more than ever. This is where the beginnings of Task Force 145, one of the most secretive, effective, and deadly Tier 1 Special Operations Joint Task Forces was created. This is the story of Task Force 145.
Okay, dude, oh man, I have no idea what... okay, I'm actually quite curious. I had no idea about this. Task Force, okay.
Abu Musab al-Zarqawi was a notoriously enigmatic terrorist leader who wreaked havoc in the Middle East for years. He had claimed responsibility for a number of gruesome and deadly attacks, eventually placing him as the most wanted man in Jordan and Iraq. So much so that the US government offered a $25 million reward for information leading to his capture, which was the same amount they offered for the capture of Osama bin Laden. Even after the capture...
Oh, that's crazy. So this guy was a big deal. They are paying the same.
capture of Saddam Hussein, there was
Sorry, I was trying to be a bit back. Oh, this is big.
$1 million reward for information leading to his capture, which was the same amount they offered for the capture of Osama bin Laden. Even after the capture of Saddam Hussein, there was still a heavy terrorist presence in Iraq. Therefore, combating terrorism was a major goal for the United States during the Iraqi invasion, as it was taking a deadly toll on service members and the citizens of Iraq. Because there was so much work to be done, the US wasn't doing it alone. The United Kingdom had joined forces on this endeavor. With thousands of troops and a plethora of agencies scattered throughout Iraq, intelligence was being collected and utilized for various missions regarding high-value terrorist targets and assets. Both the United States and the United Kingdom were receiving information overload. Most of the intel they received was either unreliable or led to dead ends. Every second wasted risked the potential for more lives being lost, so action needed to be taken quickly. In 2004, the highly decorated General Stanley A. McChrystal took command of Joint Special Operations Command, home to the US military's Tier 1 units. He was soon made aware of the underlying issues and tensions between the US and UK, ranging from the poor treatment of prisoners, political discrepancies, and inter-service rivalry. To solve these issues, he cleaned house and established Task Force 145, one of the deadliest task forces in United States military history.
Okay, I mean, this is getting intense.
Task Force 145 was a US-UK joint task force consisting of a multitude of special operations units. These units range from Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, Intelligence Support Activity, Special Air Service, Special Boat Service, CIA Special Activities Center, and we're not done yet. There was also the 24th Special Tactics Squadron, 160th SOAR, MI6, FBI, Army Rangers, and the Special Reconnaissance Regiment, all together.
Oh wow, so basically they end up building the best possible team that you can make with all of those different special forces. Oh, that's amazing.
Together under one umbrella to form one of the most secretive special operations task forces the world has ever seen. But you can't have the best of the best elite forces all under the same roof arguing over who's calling the shots. In order to work in tandem as efficiently as possible, Task Force 145 was split into a handful of smaller task forces all under the same command. These task forces each comprised of specific special operations communities tasked with unique missions. There was Task Force Red, which consisted of Army Rangers and Delta Force operators, Task Force Blue armed with SEAL Team 6 operators and Army Rangers, Task Force Green made up of Delta Force operators and Army Rangers, Task Force Black, which consisted of SAS, SBS, and SRR personnel, and Task Force Orange, which was the intel element of the task force, consisting of the intelligence support activity, FBI, MI6, CIA, and other agencies. Each of these task forces worked autonomously, but ultimately in tandem, to execute various missions throughout the Middle East. But you don't just create the world's greatest task force without a damn good reason. Task Force 145 was assigned one main task: neutralize or capture terrorist mastermind Abu Musab al-Zarqawi and dismantle his al-Qaeda network.
Oh boy. I already feel... I would say bad for that guy, but I don't actually. Yeah, I have big trust in this force, this new force, but better saying.
Since Zarqawi had committed atrocities so bad that even Osama bin Laden had to disavow him, stopping him as soon as possible was of the utmost importance. The secondary aim of the task force was to disrupt and degrade the operational capacity of terrorist cells in Iraq. As such, Task Force 145 was given considerable freedom to hunt down and neutralize or capture suspected insurgents. They were quite literally authorized to conduct raids without higher approval, and were able to act quickly based on the latest intelligence. This was all done through a concept known as the unblinking eye. As Sean Naylor, author of Relentless Strike, The Secret History of JSOC, once said, the task force will conduct a raid. Perhaps it will capture somebody. Perhaps it will just capture some documents, a laptop, satellite cell phone. It will immediately take the intelligence that can be exploited from that raid and use it to conduct other raids, often within hours. They call that the unblinking eye. In other words, the unblinking eye meant the operators would not wait for intelligence to be confirmed. As soon as the intel was received, they sprang into action to get the job done. The unblinking eye concept is considered a major reason for Task Force 145's repeated success.
Look, I'm not reacting a lot on this one, I feel like, but the reason is this is crazy. My friend, quick pause on this one. First of all, hope you are enjoying the video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. But let me share with you one thing. I have a Patreon community where I put content almost every day, a lot of early access videos. So if you want to get them, go to my Patreon, link on my description. And this is of course a good way to support the channel. That said, let's continue with this one and I hope you have fun. And it's getting really intense. And now the hunt begins.
With access to state-of-the-art equipment, the world's finest operators, and any resource they could get their hands on, Task Force 145 let nothing get in its way on the hunt for Zarqawi. Working around the clock, day after day, by the summer of 2005, Task Force 145 was averaging 300 raids a month, hitting targets every single night. That's a whopping 10 missions every single day, and each one brought them one step closer to finding him. Eventually, Task Force 145...
Okay, those guys are not messing around. Yeah, that guy, the leader of Taliban's or something, is in big problem. Yeah.
would turn its focus from high-value targets only to targeting even the suspected local players and middle managers in insurgent networks. Anytime there was even a smell of Zarqawi nearby, they would go out and use any means possible to get information from the source. If you enjoy our content and want to support the channel, please help us reach our goal of 5,000 followers. If you don't have a Facebook but still want to support us, please consider contributing to us on Patreon, where we have some pretty cool benefits. The links to these will be in the description and pinned comment below, or scan the QR codes on screen. However, Zarqawi proved to be an evasive adversary, managing to slip through the cracks time and time again. In fact, in some instances where they believed they were closing in on him, the operators would raid compounds or hideouts to find eggs still cooking on the stove. Although these close calls would be frustrating to deal with, Task Force 145 was still getting rid of the bad guys on their path. With each raid they conducted, they gained further data from seized documents and interrogations and used the results to conduct further raids. Eventually, things snowballed enough to where Task Force 145 would receive a big break. Intel gathered from the task force located Zarqawi's spiritual advisor, which eventually led the task force to a suspected location of where Zarqawi was hiding out. The US military quickly acted on this intel and prepared two 500-pound bombs to be dropped onto his hideout. On June 7, 2006, while Zarqawi was attending a meeting in his safe house, one Air Force F-16 jet dropped the two 500-pound guided bombs on the safe house, ultimately neutralizing him. Task Force 145 was one of the first groups on the scene to secure the area and locate and identify his body. The hunt for Zarqawi had finally come to an end.
Dude, those guys are the Avengers. If you are their target, you are in big trouble. Big trouble. Wow, I mean, I'm sorry, this was amazing to watch. And now let's see the aftermath. Hey, leave a like if you enjoy this type of videos, honestly, because, again, I don't have too much to say because I'm learning, but I enjoy to watch these type of stories. I was not aware of this at all.
The neutralization of Zarqawi was no easy feat and marked the termination of one of Iraq's most prominent terrorist leaders. His demise uplifted the spirits of the US and UK and significantly weakened the adversary. Not only did Task Force 145 achieve its primary mission of neutralizing Zarqawi, but it also succeeded in accomplishing its secondary objective. Task Force 145 apprehended thousands of terrorists and captured or neutralized approximately 200 Zarqawi associates and operatives. Make no mistake, the hunt for Zarqawi came at a cost. Task Force 145 had lost approximately 18 operators, with Delta Force suffering a casualty rate of roughly 20%, and Special Air Service with 6 troops KIA and 30 injured. Despite having accomplished their primary objective, there was still plenty more work to be done. Even though Zarqawi was out of the picture, one man's life did not signal an end to the rampant terrorism throughout the country. As Major General Caldwell said on announcing his death, "Although Zarqawi's capture is reason to rejoice, we must be cautious not to be overly optimistic, as one man's life does not signify an end to an insurgency." Task Force 145 would eventually move on to target other high-profile terrorists and insurgents under a new name, Task Force 88. It is likely that this task force has changed names a handful of times over the years and is likely operating somewhere in the world under another unknown name. This task force, although shrouded in secrecy, has made a name for itself as one of the most deadly and effective task forces ever assembled by the United States military. Their sacrifices, capabilities, and commitment to protecting the interests of our great nation have likely made the world a safer place. If you'd like to learn more about the highly covert and mysterious Tier 1 units that made up Task Force 145, we've done a video covering every US military Tier 1 unit.
Should I react to that, by the way? This seems very interesting.
The link will be in the description below along with our social medias, or scan the QR code on
Great
screen.
video!
And don't forget to support the channel by downloading Fishing Clash and using code GENDISCHARGE so you can get that $20 reward for free. Well, that is the down and dirty of Task Force 145. If you learned something from this video, make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. As always, thank you for watching. Do you even...
Okay, this was amazing. I was not aware of this at all. And that's it for today, my friends. Hope you end up enjoying this video. If that's the case, do not forget to leave a like. Also consider to subscribe if you are new to my channel. And also let me remember you about one thing. I have a Patreon community. I put videos there a bit earlier than I put on YouTube. So if you want to support me and have access to early content, go to my Patreon. I will leave a link on my description. Take a look at that. You can also scan the QR code you'll be seeing here, and that's it.